everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. Today I wanted to bring you a tip that I saw from another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I thought this was ingenious. Not all of us have a envelope punch board, and this was probably one of the easiest templates that I have seen for an A2 size card. Very simple, easy to make, and I wanted to show you just how to do that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with a piece of, I was going to do it with this cardstock. Maybe y'all can see that. First of all, let me show you how to make your template. I am going to use a piece of Not Your Mama's heavyweight cardstock, because this is beautiful heavyweight cardstock that will make your template where it will hold up. Now, if you don't have anything this heavy, use a cereal box or something like that. That will work. But I like this because it's white. You can write on it, because this is going to be a template that you're going to want to make and stash it somewhere where you know where it's at. This is a very, very easy template to make, because all you're going to do is cut this down into a 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Now, I know none of us like our 8s, but I promise you this is not going to be hard to make. And I'm going to show you why. We're going to put this in, and I'm going to show you. Let me zoom you in so you can see where the 5 3/8 is. And I'm going to bring this down right about there so you can see. There's the 5, and you're going to count over 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be just before the quarter, because 1/4 is actually 4/8. So 3/8 is right before the 1/4, or the 1/4. So that's going to be right there. So we're going to line that up at 5 3/8, and we are going to slice it. And then we're going to turn it, and we're going to do the same thing again. 5, 1, 2, 3. So if you count it like that, or just go back one mark back from the 1/4, and there is your 5 3/8. Now I'm going to zoom you back out. Oops, wrong way. Now what we're going to do is we are going to angle this in our scoreboard just like this. What we want to do is line up this point and this point even in our track, because what we're going to do is we're going to slice this. Now I'm going to bring my blade down halfway. I'm going to pop that in, and I'm going to sink my blade. I'm going to slice up and then down. And that's going to give us two pieces that are triangles. Now, one of these pieces we are going to need to trim. So in order to do that, we are going to put this piece, let's see, I got to make sure I'm getting it right. We want this point right here. So you're going to put this long piece up to the top. I'm going to bring it down, because we're going to cut this at 4 1/2. And I'm going to bring it down to this line so that I make sure that I'm on the 4 1/2 line. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is hold it very, very still. I'm going to sink my blade in the middle, slice up and down. I'm holding that very tight so it doesn't move. And that's it. This is your template for your A2 size card envelope. Now let me show you what you're going to need to do with these. I'm going to mark this one top and bottom. And I'm also going to write on here that your paper size needs to be 8 1/2 by 8 1/2. Now this is going to be our sides. Again, paper size. Oops, I can't spell paper. is going to be 8.5 by 8.5. Now that way when I store this template, I will know that this will make an A2 envelope. And I'm going to put on the back envelope template, maybe this way. For an A2 card. That way I know that these pieces will always work. Now what we need to do is we need to cut our paper to the 8.5 by 8.5. So I've got this piece of really pretty paper, but I don't know that I want to cut this. This will show us what we can get, just like this one. This was a piece of Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up, and this is from the Magnolia collection. Isn't that gorgeous? And when you do a two-sided paper, you end up with a envelope that looks like it's decorated inside and out. And I think that's beautiful when you're doing a card. But for the sake of this video, I want to do this in something that you're going to be able to see. So I'm going to grab a solid piece of cardstock. And I want it to be something kind of lightweight because I want you to be able to see your marks on here. So now this is just 8.5 by 11. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to 8.5 on the 11-inch side, and that will give us an 8.5 by 8.5. So I am going to pull this out, and we're going to go to 8.5, and I'm going to slice it. And now this is our piece that we need. This is 8.5. If you turn it both ways, it's going to be 8.5 by 8.5. So now we're going to do the magic. Our magic is going to be done with these two little wonderful pieces. And if you've got something a little softer to lay your cardstock on, you can score this much better. I am going to grab my mouse pad. Y'all know I love my mouse pad for doing things like this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring it up here. You decide, if you're using pattern paper, you're going to decide which way you want your flap to go down. And that's where you're going to put this in that corner. It doesn't matter if you're doing solid. You can put it in any corner and it will work. So I'm just going to lay it in this corner. Just like that. Making sure that everything's even. And I'm going to hold that. And I am going to grab a stylus. And I am going to score right along that edge, just like that. Then I'm going to turn it around to the other side and slide that template on it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to score that side. Now as you can see you see those score lines? We have score lines here and here. So now we're going to bring it this way on the opposite side, and we're going to use our side pieces. And we're going to lay this down and do the same thing. Just make that score line just like that. Turn it to the opposite side, lay it down, and do our score lines. Now, what I like to do at this point is I like to fold and crease. You don't have to do the bone folder right yet. I just like to crease this down so that I can see where I need to trim out. And if you look closely, see these little triangles in each one of these corners? These need to be trimmed out. And if y'all hear my little puppy, that's Bella. She is dreaming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I am going to trim out these little triangles all the way around. Just cut them out. When you fold your card, you might have to retrim if you don't get them perfectly trimmed out. But it's okay. We can do that. See, that one right there looks like it's going to be a little wonky. So I'm going to go back and retrim that one. Yep. And a lot of times you can see when you trim them if you get them perfectly trimmed out or not. And if you don't, it's okay. You can go back. No love lost. Do you see the envelope starting to take shape? Alright, there is our envelope. So now the next thing you need to do is you need to decide how you want this to fold in. Now I like to fold like this. Now see, this one needs to be trimmed. There's a little bit of bulk there. And when you lay your envelope down, that's when you're going to feel it. When you get ready to fold these pieces down, this is when you're going to know whether you need to trim anything else out, if everything's coming together perfectly. What I like to do at this point, if you have a 1-inch punch that will round your corners, I like to round these corners. So what I do is I bring this up and I put this in and make sure that it's perfectly into that little angle, and I punch it. That gives me my nice little rounded corners, and I do the same thing for the top flap. You don't have to do this for the sides. You can just do it for these because these are the ones that are going to be seen. And that one didn't look like I got it in there perfectly. And you can do this with a 1/2 inch or a 1 inch. I like the 1 inch on these because I think it looks better. Oops, let's see, like that. And then this one's going to need to be trimmed out because the top is not closing. Like I said, if that happens, it's no biggie. Just come back and trim those out. And this one needs to be trimmed a little bit more. Just like that. Alright. Now we're ready to go ahead and put our tape or glue. Now for these envelopes, you can use your, this is our bottom, you can use your art glitter glue, or you can use your tape. For the sake of the video, I'm going to use art glitter glue. It holds perfect. And what I do is I like to take on these side flaps, just put a dot and stick that down first. And then I run a bead of glue like that. And like that. And then I just close it down. Now if you use pattern paper, you are going to have, it looks like these need to be trimmed just a little bit more. This one right here. And there is our perfect little envelope that you can address in any A2 size card. So I'm going to grab my last installment, which was this one. And let me show you how easy, well that wasn't the last one, but the last A2 size card that I made, because the other one I made that just went up yesterday, because this will be, I think this will be Wednesday's video. But anyway, there's your envelope, and as you can see, any A2 size card, there's that one. Here's our little happy birthday card that we made. And this one will slide in here perfectly. You just want to make sure you don't tear up your little pieces when you're putting them in. That fits perfect. So you can see you can make your own A2 size. Now most of us do make A2 size cards, and that's why I wanted to bring you the template for the A2 size. So there you go, folks. This is the way you can make your own envelopes without a punch board. And I think, how wonderful is that you can make an envelope yourself. Let's see, what did I do with my decorative one? I had it here just a moment ago. Here it is. You can make your own envelopes with two-sided paper. You can make them with plain paper. You can make them with, you know, just one-sided paper. If you make it with a one-sided paper, you're going to have a white interior. Just wonderful way to be creative. And remember, you can stamp these. You can put your own little signature on it by making flowers in the corner. You can color, you can cut out flowers and glue them on. So many different ways that you can decorate your envelopes when you make them yourself. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was informative. I hope that it challenges you to try to make your own envelopes with making your own little template. So easy to do. I will put all the measurements and everything in this video below. And I hope you'll try this. If you do, post it on our Facebook channel at Random Acts of Crafting by Kathy Champion. I look forward to seeing y'all over there. If you are watching this for the first time and you have not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Help me grow my channel. I'm working diligently toward 1,000, and your help would mean so much. Also, if you like this, give me a thumbs up, and also leave me a comment what you think. I love you all so much. God bless you. Stay safe, stay in, stay crafting, and above all, let everything you say and do bring glory to our Father in heaven, for He is so worthy of our praise and our honor. And until we craft again, I love you all. Bye-bye.